Adhyatma Upanishad, coming from the Shukla Yajur Upanishads. Om. That Brahman is infinite, and this universe is infinite. The infinite proceeds from the infinite. Then taking the infinitude of the infinite, it remains as the infinite Brahman alone. Om. Let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. In the cave of the body is eternally set the one unborn. The earth is his body, though moving within the earth knows him not. The water is his body, though moving within the water knows him not. The fire is his body, though moving within the fire knows him not. The air is his body, though moving within the air knows him not. The ether is his body, though moving within the ether knows him not. The mind is his body, though moving within the mind knows him not. The intellect is his body, though moving within the intellect knows him not. The ego is his body, though moving within the ego knows him not. The mind stuff is his body, though moving within the mind stuff knows him not. The unmanifest is his body, though moving within the unmanifest knows him not. The imperishable is his body, though moving within the imperishable knows him not. The death is his body, though moving within the death knows him not. He then is the inner self of all beings, sinless, heaven-born, luminous, the soul Narayan. Superimposition is the thought. I am and mine are the body, the senses, which are all other than the self. Through devotion to Brahman, the wise man should repudiate it. Knowing oneself to be the subject, the witness of intellect and its operations reject the idea of the self being other than the subject, identifying I with that. Rejecting conformity with the world, the body and the shastras remove superimposition on the self. The mind of the yogi perishes as he stays without intermission in the self alone, knowing through reasoning, shruti, and experience that one is the self of all beings. Without granting for a moment even a toehold for sleep, gossip, verbal exchanges, and self-forgetfulness, meditate on the self in the self. Casting the body far aside, the offspring of parental exudation, and its status is no better than that of an outcast, and becoming Brahman, seek fulfillment. Dissolve the self in the supreme self as the pot space is dissolved in the infinite space. Then, as the infinite, be silent forever, O sage. Having become the self-luminous substratum, as being, reject both the macronism and the microism, which are but abodes of impurities. Locating the body-bound, I sense in the ever-blissful spiritual self, renounce the subtle body, eternally be the absolute. Knowing I am that Brahman in which the world appearance exists, like a city reflected on a mirror, find fulfillment, O sinless one. Liberated from the grip of egoism, like the moon after the eclipse, full, ever blissful, self-luminous, one attains one's essence. The destruction of actions leads to that of thought, thence the results in dwindling of innate impulses to act. The obliteration of innate impulses is liberation. It is held to be freedom in life. At all places and by all means, perceiving everything as spirit, one achieves dissolution of innate impulses as it strengthens the attitude of the universal goodwill. Never should one be heedless in devotion to Brahman. Heedlessness is death, so aver the philosophers of Brahman in regard to this science. Just as a pulled up water reed stays not still, even for a moment, so does Maya ceaselessly envelop even wise man if he averts his face from the truth. Whosoever wins absoluteness while alive continues to be absolute even after death. Rooted in concentration, O sinless one, remain steadfast. With the vision of the non-dual self through unwavering concentration comes the dissolution without the residue of the knots of ignorance in the heart, strengthening the sense of the self vis-a-vis this vision, and rejecting it vis-a-vis the ego, remain indifferent to them all, as to objects like pots and clothes. All things from Brahma down to the clumps of grass are nothing but unreal adjuncts. Distinct from these, see oneself existing as the immutable plenium. Oneself is Brahma, Vishnu, Indra, and Shiv. This entire world is one's self. Other than this self, there is nothing. After repudiating all objective appearances superimposed on oneself, one remains alone as the Supreme Brahman, full, non-dual, stirless. The world is a postulation as good as non-existent in the one reality that is immutable, formless, unqualified. Whence is the difference? In the one reality, devoid of distinctions like the percipient, perception, and the perceived, and of all sufferings, in the absolutely full spiritual self, like unto the ocean at the time of cosmic dissolution. Whence is the difference? Darkness implicit in it, as in light, is the cause of dissolution. Whence is the difference in the supreme non-dual and unqualified reality? In this uniform and supreme reality, how can the agents of differences dwell? In deep sleep, there is nothing but bliss, who has perceived the difference. This perception of difference is rooted in the mind of the percipient. There is none of it in the absence of mind. Therefore, concentrate the mind on the Supreme Self as the subject. Upon realizing the Self that is impartiate bliss as one's own essence, there follows the savoring of the timeless bliss that is the Self, both externally and internally. Of detachment, the fruit is knowledge. Of knowledge, the fruit is withdrawal. Experience of self as bliss leads to peace. Again, peace is the fruit of withdrawal. Without the consequent states, the precedent ones are fruitless indeed. Cessation is the supreme satisfaction. Matchless bliss is spontaneous. The express sense of the word tat has Maya for his adjunct. He is the world cause. He is characterized by omniscience, etc. is tinged by transcendence, and is essentially truth, and so forth. The express sense of the word tavam shines forth as the content of the idea and expression, I. It is the awareness blended with the mind, the inner organ of perception. Only through the exclusion of Maya and Avidya, the adjuncts of God and Jiv, is the Supreme Spirit, the impartiate being, consciousness and bliss indicated. To listen, thus, is to pursue by means of sentences their import. On the other hand, thinking consists in perceiving its consistency with reason. Meditation is indeed the exclusive attention of the mind fixed on the import, rendered indubitable through listening and thinking. Concentration is said to be the mind which, outgrowing the dualism between the mediator and the meditation, gradually dwells exclusively on the object of meditation, and is like the flame in a windless spot. Mind's modifications in regards to the self are uncognized in that state. They are only inferred as past, after quitting the state of samadhi. Crows of Carmen are accumulated in this beginningless transmigratory life, are dissolved by means of concentration. Then pure virtue begins to flourish. The best knowers of yoga call this concentration the cloud of virtues, since it rains the flood waters of virtues in 1,000 streams. When the load of innate impulses is dissolved without residue by means of this cloud of virtues, and heaps of karma, good and evil, are totally eradicated. The major texts, which at first shone forth immediately, now unobstructed, yields immediate awareness as clear as the myrobilon in the palm of one's hand. The non-occurrence of the impulse to enjoy in regards to objects of enjoyment marks the acme of detachment. The highest pitch of awareness is marked by the non-occurrence of the egoistic sense. The acme of withdrawal is marked by the non-occurrence of even latent impulse to enjoy. He is the ascetic of steadfast wisdom who enjoys bliss forever, whose self is merged in Brahman alone, who is immutable and quiescent. Wisdom is defined as the unwavering spiritual mode whose content is the unity of Brahman and Atman purged of all adjuncts. Whosoever possesses it without a break is liberated in life. Who has no conceit of I in regard to the body and senses, nor the conceit of objects in regards to things other than them, who is free from these two conceits in regard to anything whatsoever, is liberated in life. Who in his wisdom perceives no difference between the subject and Brahman, who neither refers to the creator nor the creation, is liberated in life. Whose attitude is the same both when he's honored by the virtuous and when he is persecuted by the wicked, is liberated in life. He who has realized the truth of Brahman no longer transmigrates, as hitherto, if he does, this truth has not been realized by him. He is but an extrovert. As long as the experience of pleasure, etc. lasts, so long as operative karmas from the past are held to persist, casual actions precede the occurrence of effects. Never is this unpreceded by actions. Consequent on experience, I am Brahman. Karmas accumulated in the course of aeons are dissolved, even as the actions in dreams are upon waking up. Just as nothing clings to space, so to the sage who knows the self to be unattached and indifferent, future actions cling not in the least degree. Just as space is unaffected by the smell of liquor, though it touches the pot containing liquor, so is the self unaffected by the attributes of its adjuncts. Karma done before the dawn of knowledge perish not as a result of that knowledge. They must produce their proper effect, even as an arrow shot to hit a target stops not before hitting it. The arrow discharged to hit what was taken for a tiger stops not, though alter that target, it is known to be a cow, the target is hit with full force. I am unaging. I am immortal. How can one who knows his self to be such and lives that knowledge fabricate operative past actions? Then only is operative past action real when one mistakes oneself to be the body. The treatment of the body as self is improper. Therefore, reject the notion of operative past action. The fabrication of operative past action is also indeed a delusion due to this body. How can the superimposed be real? How can the unreal be born? How can the unborn perish? How can the unreal own operative past actions? To answer the dull-witted who doubtfully ask this, how this body persists, even if the entire effects of new science with their cause are destroyed by knowledge. Shruti, with an outward eye, propounds the theory of operative past actions, not to suggest to the wise that the body, etc., are real. A total plenium without beginning and end, measure and change. Massed being and intelligence, massed eternal bliss, undiminishing. With the soul savor of the subject, full, endless, behold all, neither to be shunned nor seized, neither to be held nor propped, beyond inert forces and actions, subtle, certain, unblemished, whose essence is beyond thought, beyond mid-end words, existent plenitude, self-proven, pure, awake, and matchless. One only is non-dual Brahman. Here is no plurality at all. To Adhyatma was this science imparted. He imparted it to Brahma, who passed it on to Gorengrius. The later gave it to Rawiqwa, and Rawiqwa to Ram. Ram imparted it to all beings. This is the injunction in regard to nirvana. This is the injunction of the Vedas. This is the secret teaching. That Brahman is infinite, and this universe is infinite. The infinite proceeds from the infinite, then taking the infinitude of the infinite. It remains as the infinite Brahman alone. Let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me.